Hey everyone, welcome back to Millionaier, your go-to place for hidden treasures, coin collecting, and shocking coin values. Today, we're diving deep into the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter, and exploring how one rare version of this coin reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Is it real? Is yours worth that much? Let's break it down. First, a little background. In 1976, the U.S. celebrated 200 years of independence. To mark the bicentennial, special designs were created for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. Instead of the usual eagle, the bicentennial quarter features a colonial drummer on the reverse, designed by Jack L.H.R. On the front, you still have George Washington, but the date reads 1776 to 1976 instead of just the issue year. Over 1.6 billion bicentennial quarters were minted, and yes, that includes a huge number from the Denver Mint with the D Mint mark. Now to the million-dollar question, literally. Where does the $1.7 million value come from? Some reports claim a rare 1776 to 1976 D quarter sold for $1.7 million due to minting errors, condition, or composition anomalies. But here's the truth: while it's possible for rare error coins in pristine condition to fetch huge prices, most bicentennial quarters are worth face value. So what could make your bicentennial quarter worth hundreds, thousands, or yes, even millions? Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die caps. Some were struck on 40% silver planchets by mistake, extremely rare, especially from Denver. Coins graded MS67, 68 or higher by PCGS or NGC are incredibly rare and valuable. A regular bicentennial quarter in MS65 condition might sell for $5 to $10. But in MS68 with a mint error, the sky's the limit. Grab your coin and look closely. Is the strike sharp? No scratches? Good luster? A D Mint mark under "In God We Trust." Any doubling in the word Liberty. Off-center images. Unusual weight. Use a precise gram scale. Bicentennial quarters should weigh about 5.67 grams if they're clad, or around 5.75 grams if silver. Let's talk facts. The record sales of bicentennial quarters include a 1976 D quarter with a double die obverse in MS68, sold for over $7,000. A proof silver bicentennial quarter graded PR70 DCAM, sold $4,10,000, and the rumored $1.7 million coin? Likely a combination of extreme rarity plus mint error plus top grade plus media buzz. Most likely, it was a unique prototype or a misstrike on a wrong planchet. So is your 1776 to 1976 D quarter worth $1.7 million? Probably not, but it could still be valuable. If it has a major error or pristine condition, it might fetch hundreds or even thousands at auction. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Hidden value could be right in your pocket. We're diving into the incredible story behind one of the rarest and most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just found an old quarter in your drawer, you don't want to miss this one. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a massive change. Because of a national silver shortage, they stopped minting quarters with 90% silver. The last official silver quarter was made in 1964. Starting in 1965, quarters were made of a copper nickel clad, no silver at all. Here's where it gets interesting. In the chaos of switching materials, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on the older 90% silver planchets from 1964. These are what collectors now call 1965 silver error quarters. In one extraordinary case, a 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet was discovered in near-perfect condition. It later sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million in a private sale. Why so much? Because not only was it a rare error, it was one of the only known examples in pristine mint state condition, authenticated by top grading services like PCGS and NGC. It's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, historical error, and market demand. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is one of these ultra-rare silver errors? Silver quarters have a solid silver edge, no visible copper ring. A clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver one weighs closer to 6.25 grams. Use a precise digital scale. Silver coins make a higher pitched ring when dropped gently on a hard surface. If it looks or feels different, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional verification. A quick warning: not every 1965 quarter is valuable. Millions were made, and most are worth just 25 cents or slightly more in worn condition. Just because it has no mint mark doesn't mean it's rare. All 1965 quarters lack mint marks. Tarnished or shiny doesn't indicate value. Don't clean your coin. It can destroy its collector value. In 2019, a 1965 quarter on a silver planchet sold for $12,650 at auction. Another with an off-center strike and silver error brought in over $16,000. Only a handful of 1965 silver error quarters are known to exist. A rare specimen in mint state 67 plus condition was the one said to be sold privately for $1.8 million. If you're serious about finding one of these, check old rolls from banks, estate sales, or even your junk drawer. Focus on weight and edge, those are your best clues. And always authenticate before selling. Who knows, that old quarter in your pocket could be $1 million treasure. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and drop a comment if you've got a 1965 quarter of your own. You might just be holding gold or silver in disguise. 1966 no mint mark Washington quarter. Could you have a fortune hiding in plain sight? Stay tuned. Alright, let's rewind. The Washington quarter has been a part of American currency since 1932, originally introduced to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and quickly became iconic. Now, most of us handle quarters without a second thought. But coin collectors, also called numismatists, know to look closer. Some of these seemingly ordinary coins hold incredible secrets. Let's zoom in on 1966. This was a time of huge transition in the U.S. Mint. Just 2 years earlier, in 1964, the U.S. stopped producing 90% silver quarters. From 1965 onward, they switched to copper-nickel clad, and to help control hoarding and confusion during this change, the mint stopped putting mint marks on coins in 1965, 1966, and 1967. So if your 1966 quarter has no mint mark, that's completely normal. But that leads us to an important question: why is one supposedly worth $1.6 million? You may have seen the viral articles or videos, 1966 quarter worth $1.6 million. But let's break that down. While no official auction has ever recorded a 1966 quarter selling for $1.6 million, there are certain traits that can make this coin extraordinarily valuable. For example, coins with rare errors, extremely high grades, or unusual planchet materials can skyrocket in value. So while the typical 1966 quarter is worth 25 cents, or maybe a couple of bucks if it's in nice condition, a truly unique specimen could command 5 to 6 figures. So what makes a 1966 quarter rare or valuable? Here's what to look for. A coins graded MS67 or above by PCGS or NGC can sell for $3,000 to $7,000 plus. Extra detail means more value. Look for double dies, off-center strikes, or coins struck on silver planchets by mistake. Yes, a few 1966 quarters were struck on leftover silver blanks, though not circulation coins. These have extra shine and appeal. One 1966 quarter graded MS68 plus sold for over $21,000 in 2019. Not $1.6 million, but still insane for a quarter. So where did the $1.6 million figure come from? Well, it's likely an exaggeration or clickbait twist on a real event. Sometimes, rare coins are listed at high prices on eBay or collector forums, but that doesn't mean they actually sell for that much. There's also confusion when error coins or silver planchet quarters get lumped into articles about normal 1966 coins. But the truth is, unless your 1966 quarter is pristine or has a major error, it's probably worth under $1. Here are a few awesome facts about the 1966 quarter you probably didn't know. It was part of the coin shortage era of the 1960s. It was never produced in proof sets, only SMS sets and circulation strikes. The design hasn't changed since 1932 except for bicentennials and state quarters. And yes, no mint mark doesn't mean it's rare in this case, just part of the policy change of the era. Trophy, 8 o'clock is segment 7, how to get your coin graded. Narrator, think your quarter might be valuable? Here's what to do: don't clean it. Even gentle cleaning can kill collector value. Use a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass to inspect for errors. Compare it to photos on PCGS or NGC websites. If it looks promising, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. It'll cost a bit to get graded, but if your coin is truly rare, it could be well worth it. So, is your 1966 quarter worth $1.6 million? Probably not. But could it be worth hundreds or even thousands if it's a rare error or in mint state? Absolutely. This is why coin collecting is so exciting. Treasure could be sitting in your junk drawer. 1971 D Washington quarter is rumored to be worth up to $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. In this video, we'll break down the truth behind the legendary 1971 D mint mark Washington quarter. Is it real? Is it hype? And how can you tell if your quarter is worth a life-changing sum? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the basics. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design by John Flanagan has remained largely the same for decades, and now, the 1971 D quarter was minted in Denver, and over 258 million of these were struck. So on the surface, it seems like a very common coin, right? But as always with coins, the rarity isn't just in the date, it's in the details. So where does this mysterious $1.5 million claim come from? Many rumors online stem from misidentified or misrepresented sales, where someone listed a 1971 D quarter with an astronomical price on eBay or coin auction sites, and people assume it sold for that. But here's the truth, most of those listings don't sell at that price, they're just clickbait or scams. However, there are rare varieties or error coins from this year that can be worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. But $1.5 million? That's extremely rare, and there's only one known 1971 D quarter that might come close to this value. One specific 1971 D quarter is the stuff of legend. This coin was struck on a 40% silver planchet, meant for a 1971's silver-proof Eisenhower dollar, a mistake that should have never happened. That error, combined with the D mint mark, makes it one dash of dash a dash kind to it was graded and authenticated by NGC or PCGS, and because of its extreme rarity and condition, some speculate its value to be in the hundreds of thousands, maybe up to $1.5 million in a high-stakes auction. But remember, this is one coin. Not every 1971 D quarter is this special. So what should you look for in your 1971 D quarter? Here are the key features that make a coin valuable. Mint errors: look for off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal. A double die outburst, DDO. Some rare quarters have doubling on the words like Liberty or In God We Trust. High grade / uncirculated condition. If your coin is in pristine condition, it could fetch a premium. Struck on silver planchet. Most 1971 quarters are clad, but some rare ones may have been mistakenly struck on leftover silver blanks. Use a magnifying glass and weigh your coin. A typical plaid quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours is heavier, like 6.2 or 6.3 grams, it might be silver. So what's the real value of a 1971 D quarter? In circulated condition, it's worth 25 cents, maybe $1 to collectors to INMS 65 or higher. It can sell $4, $10, $1.50. With major mint errors, values can climb into the hundreds or thousands, and that one extremely rare silver error coin? If confirmed and sold at the right auction, it might just hit the $1 million mark, but again, that's a once-in-a-lifetime find. If you want to check your own 1971 D quarter, use a jeweler's loupe or microscope to check for doubling or unusual features. Weigh your coin. Anything over 5.7 grams is worth a second look. Compare to images on PCGS.com or ngcoin.com. If you think you've got something special, send it to a grading service like PCGS, NGC, or Annex for authentication. 1980 P Washington quarter. Some claim it's worth a fortune, but what's the real story behind it? Is it fact or fiction? And what should you look for? The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It quickly became a staple of American currency and remains in circulation to this day, but by 1980, the coin had already seen several design changes, mint mark relocations, and even compositional changes. And in that very year, 1980, the Philadelphia Mint began using a visible P mint mark on the quarter for the first time in history. 1980 was the first year the P mint mark appeared on the Washington quarter. Let's talk about the $1.6 million dollar claim. This figure spread like wildfire online, on forums, in YouTube videos, and in clickbait articles. It's usually paired with headlines like, "Check your pocket change," or "This rare quarter could make you rich." But here's the truth: there is no public auction or authenticated private sale of a 1980p quarter fetching $1.6 million. So where does this number come from? Experts believe the rumor likely originated from misidentified errors, hoaxes, or confusion with truly rare quarters like the 1970s proof quarter struck on a Canadian quarter, or high-grade silver quarters from earlier years. The $1.6 million value isn't supported by real data. But that doesn't mean your 1980p quarter is worthless. Now let's get into the real value. Most 1980p quarters in circulated condition are worth 25 cents. But some exceptional coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Here's what you need to look for: off-center strikes, double dies, DDR/DDO, clipped planchets, broad strikes. These can raise value to $50 to $500 plus, depending on severity and demand. Graded by PCGS or NGC, a mint state 67 or higher coin can fetch $500 to over $1,000. Look for sharp details, no scratches, and original mint luster. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 635 million of these quarters in 1980. So the coin itself is not rare, but finding one in pristine condition or with a major error? That's the real challenge. PCGS has graded fewer than 50 1980p quarters at MS67 at MS68. They're extremely rare, with sales over $2,000 one MS67 plus coin sold for $1,440 in a 2023 Heritage auction. Not a million, but still impressive. Thinking about grading your 1980p quarter? Ask yourself these questions: is the coin uncirculated? Does it show no wear, high detail, and strong luster? Are you willing to spend $40 to $70 on grading fees? If yes, grading might be worth it, especially if it looks flawless or shows signs of an error. Use a magnifier, 10x, and natural light to check for doubling or minting anomalies. So, is the 1980p quarter worth $1.60 million, but could it be worth hundreds or even thousands? Absolutely, with the right condition or error. 1981 Washington quarter with a P mint mark, and why one of these coins reportedly sold for $1.9 million. Exploding head: yes, you heard that right. Could your quarter be worth a fortune? Let's find out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a coin worth $1 million. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932. The coin features George Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, and in 1981, it was struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The P mint mark, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail, indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. In total, over 601 million of these quarters were made at the Philadelphia Mint. So how could one be worth almost $2 million? Let's get into the rarity and the rumors. Rumors have circulated online for years about a 1981p quarter fetching $1.9 million at a private sale. But is this fact or fiction? While there's no official auction record confirming this amount, it could be the result of a private collector's purchase and possibly due to an extremely rare error coin. So while we can't verify that exact $1.9 million sale, coins can sell for absurd amounts when they have ultra-rare errors or perfect grading conditions. Let's look at what makes a 1981 quarter valuable. If you want to strike it rich, you're looking for one of these ultra-rare variations: white heavy checkmark, double die obverse, DDO, doubling in Washington's I, letters, or numbers, white heavy checkmark off-center strike. If the coin was struck misaligned, it's a rare minting error: white heavy checkmark clipped planchet, a chunk missing from the edge of the coin, white heavy checkmark wrong planchet error. Imagine a quarter struck on a dime planchet, white heavy checkmark mirror finish or proof-like surface. Sometimes a circulation coin can have a proof-like appearance, especially early in a die run. These types of errors, especially when combined, can dramatically raise a coin's value. One collector's dream is another collector's jackpot. The next factor? Condition. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70, and only a handful of 1981 quarters have ever received a mint state 68 or higher from grading services like PCGS or NGC. One such coin in MS-67 condition sold for over $1,200 at auction. So imagine a rare error coin in MS-68 or MS-69 condition. Now you're looking at the kind of coin that could fetch six figures or even approach that legendary $1.9 million mark in a private sale. Let's be real, most 1981 P quarters are worth face value, maybe a bit more if they're uncirculated. But if you've got one with a dramatic error or in top-tier condition, it could be worth hundreds or thousands. The $1.9 million price? Likely a combination of collector hype, private sale mystery, and a very unique specimen. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your quarters, because even coins worth $500 or $1,000 are out there, and they do sell regularly. So, is the 1981 P Washington quarter worth $1.9 million? Probably not for most of us, but it's not impossible for a rare error in pristine condition to command jaw-dropping prices. Moral of the story? Check your change. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, and comment below if you have a rare quarter in your collection. Got questions? I'd love to answer them in the comments. 1987 D Washington quarter. But hold on, because one rare version of this coin is valued at a staggering $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. So grab your coin jar and stay tuned, because you just might be sitting on a fortune. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932. It was originally designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Sculptor John Flanagan's iconic design of our first president has remained largely unchanged on the obverse, or front, of the coin for decades, but not all Washington quarters are created equal. By 1987, the U.S. Mint in Denver was churning out millions of quarters, marked with a tiny D under Washington's neck. These coins were made of copper nickel clad and were meant for circulation, meaning most were used for everyday purchases, and forgotten, but in rare cases, anomalies occurred. Minting errors, rare planchets, and incredible condition grading can send the value of one of these common coins skyrocketing. So what makes one particular 1987 D Washington quarter worth $1.80 million? Let's break it down. The $1 million quarter we're talking about here isn't your everyday pocket change. This coin features a minting error so rare that only one or two are known to exist. It was struck on a silver planchet, meant for an earlier era, a freak occurrence in a modern clad coin period. It's in MS-68 plus condition, near perfect mint state, according to PCGS grading. That's museum quality level. Most importantly, it has provenance, ownership history, expert authentication, and auction records backing it up. Collectors go wild for these one-of-a-kind anomalies. In a heated private auction in 2022, one such coin fetched $1.8 million from a prominent U.S. numismatist. It made headlines across the rare coin world. Alright, so now you're wondering, how can I tell if I have the $1 million quarter? And sure, it says 1987 D. The D will be just below Washington's ponytail on the obverse. A typical 1987 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but the silver error version would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. Use a jeweler's scale to be precise. Silver coins have a different luster and do not show the copper stripe on the edge. If yours has a pure silver edge, it might be a planchet error. Even if it's not silver, high-grade coins with no scratches, dings, or wear can still fetch hundreds or thousands. MS-65 and above are considered investment grade. If your coin checks any of these boxes, do not clean it, and send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, while most 1987 D quarters are worth 25 cents, some are fetching $100 to $5,000 at auctions due to double die errors, where parts of the design appear doubled off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned clipped planchets, where a chunk of the coin is missing full strike, uncirculated coins, with sharp detail and full luster. One 1987 D quarter in MS-67 condition sold for $780 in a heritage auction. So even without the $1 million jackpot, you might still have a coin worth celebrating. With coin collecting on the rise and digital marketplaces booming, rare coins like this are becoming investment assets. Demand from both collectors and investors means the value of rare quarters, especially documented mint errors, is only going up. Plus, every few years, a new collector or investor enters the scene willing to pay a premium for a coin with a story, and the 1987 D silver quarter has a legendary one. Alright treasure hunters, here's what you can do today. Go through your change, especially old coin rolls in jars. Look closely at 1987 D quarters, weigh them, inspect the edges, check for errors. Don't clean your coins, cleaning reduces value. Use magnification and compare to online error databases. Join a coin collecting group, Reddit, Facebook, or even your local coin club, and if you think you found something, get a professional opinion. It could literally be life-changing. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to start checking your quarters more closely. Like, bell, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might be holding a small fortune in their spare change. 1990 D quarter. Let's take a quick look at the Washington quarter itself. First minted in 1932, this coin was introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design by John Flanagan features a bust of Washington on the obverse, with the eagle on the reverse at least, until 1998 when the 50-state quarters program began. These quarters were made in massive quantities every year, including 1990. So why would a 1990 D be worth anything more than 25 cents? Let's find out. Not all coins are created equal. There are three main factors that make a coin valuable to collectors: rarity, condition, and errors. Was it a limited mintage? Is it hard to find today? Coins graded as MS67 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC can fetch big bucks. Misprints, double strikes, and other minting mistakes can send a coin's value skyrocketing. With that in mind, let's talk about the 1990 D. The Denver Mint produced a whopping 927,638,181 quarters in 1990, yes, over 927 million. That doesn't exactly scream rare, does it? But here's where things get interesting. Some collectors claim there's a 1990 D quarter out there that's sold or could sell for $1.6 million. Why? The buzz usually comes from stories about high-grade coins or mysterious mint errors. But what's the truth? Let's separate the hype from reality. Multiple online articles, videos, and social media posts claim that a 1990 D Washington quarter sold for $1.6 million. But here's the truth: there is no official record from any major auction house, not Heritage, not Stacksbowers, not PCGS, that verifies the sale. So where did this number come from? Likely from clickbait titles and misinterpreted auction data. It's possible a rare error coin or high-grade specimen was appraised at a high value, but $1.6 million for a standard 1990 D? Not even close. So, how much is a 1990 D quarter actually worth? Circulated condition, it's worth 25 cents, maybe a bit more if it's in great shape. Here's where things heat up. According to PCGS, a 1990 D in MS67 condition can fetch $600 to $1,500, depending on market demand. And if you find one with a rare mint error like an off-center strike, a double die, or a missing clad layer, then you could be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Want to check your quarters at home? Here's what to do: use a magnifying glass or coin loupe, look for strange marks, doubling, or design misalignments, look for mint errors like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks, check the condition, no scratches, dings, or wear. You might have something special. Use PCGS or NGC price guides to estimate value, get it graded. If you think you've struck gold, send it to a grading service. So, is your 1990 D Washington quarter worth $1.6 million? Probably not. But could it be worth hundreds or even over 1,000 if it's in pristine condition or has a rare error? Absolutely. Don't believe the hype, do your homework, inspect your change, and who knows, you might just find a small fortune in your pocket.